So let me
Okay.
call this meeting to order. Oops.
Second.
My agenda. All right. First, I want to note that Christy Langley is a new member to the Redevelopment Commission. Christy, you want to introduce yourself and give everybody a little background?
Sure, like cautionary tale, right?
Yep.
Christy Langley, happy to be here. Thank you very much for that, Richard. And I have lived in Monroe County for almost 5 years. And so previous to moving here, I was up on the north east side of Indianapolis and worked for the city of Noblesville for 10 years in various capacities. And I currently work at Hoosier Energy, and I'm on their portfolio team. So we decided to retire our coal-fired power plant in Southwest Indiana. And so I'm on the team that's helping to replace that fossil fuel with some renewable projects. So that's my current job description. I'm originally from Madison, Indiana. So I'm from the Hoosier State, and my husband is originally from Bloomington. So he is a lifelong Bloomington resident. So I'm happy to be here, and thanks everybody for having me.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is election of officers. I am the past vice president who is running this meeting because our past president is no longer on the board. Does anybody have a idea how they want to do this or what they want to do here?
Well, yeah. Richard, are you willing to be president?
Sure, it's easy. You just run a meeting.
Unless Jim Shelton would like to do it.
Well, one of the things is that the person who's the president has to end up signing documents, and Jeff and I have now worked out about how I do that.
Well, I make a motion that we elect Richard Martin president of the Monroe County Redevelopment Commission.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any other discussions? All in favor, please signify by saying, oh, we have to do a vote, right?
Roll call.
Roll call vote.
Roll call vote, please.
Richard Martin,
Sure, I'll do it.
Lisa Abbott,
Yes.
Jim Shelton,
Yes.
Iris Kiesling,
Yes.
Christy Langley.
Yes.
Motion is approved 5-0. I would note we also are required to have a secretary.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do the vice president first, so we make sure we've got backup for meetings, should I not be available. Jim, you want to do that?
I'd be happy to, although I have been a very successful secretary for several years.
You want to be, well,
No,
then we should continue as secretary.
all you do as secretary is sign stuff very rarely. No, I'll be happy to serve as VP if that's what y'all want.
I
Sure.
move that Jim Shelton be secretary or be vice president or vice
Yeah,
chair.
I second that.
I
Vice
second.
president.
All right, we have a motion and a second for Jim Shelton to become the vice president. Any other questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Richard Martin,
Yes.
Lisa Abbott,
Yes.
Jim Shelton,
Yes.
Iris Kiesling,
Yes.
Christy Langley.
Yes.
Motion is approved 5-0.
So
Okay.
Lisa, are you willing to be vice secretary?
I only have to sign stuff every once in a great while. Sure.
That's all I've
sounds
had to do
like a
for several
perfect job
years.
for me.
Yeah, Jeff actually
I
does the
can
minutes.
do it too. I'm around also.
No,
so
if I have to
either
do the minutes, the answer is no. I'm already doing too many minutes.
Yeah.
No, I refuse to do
Jeff-
minutes.
Jeff
If I
does our
don't have to
minutes.
do the minutes, then I will have to sign stuff every once in a while. I am in.
I make a motion that Lisa Abbott be elected secretary of the Monroe County Redevelopment Commission.
I second. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
We got to
Lisa,
vote.
we have a motion and a second for Lisa Abbott to become the secretary of the Monroe County Redevelopment Commission. Please call the roll for the vote.
Richard Martin,
Yes.
Lisa Abbott,
Sure.
Jim Shelton,
Thank you.
Yes.
Iris Kiesling,
Yes.
Christy Langley.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 5-0.
Thank you,
Okay,
everyone.
we have all the usual suspects lined up now.
Right.
Okay, meeting schedule is the next thing on our agenda. We have been meeting on the third Wednesday of every month for quite some time at 4:30. Since I assume that most of the rest of the meetings this year are going to also be virtual. I don't see this letting up soon anyway. Is the Wednesday 4:30, third Wednesday 4:30 time convenient with everybody, or as convenient as any other time that there might be?
Yes, for me.
Yeah. Okay for me too.
Lisa?
Me too. It's already on my calendar, so if we change it, that would be a bigger drama.
Christie, is that okay with you?
Yep, that's great.
Okay, I'm fine with that too. What do you need from us, Jeff, in terms of motion? Now, don't we have a couple of holiday conflicts with that, or does this avoid all the holiday conflicts?
Usually we have a conflict with the Thanksgiving week, and we
Yeah.
deal with that in October or
Okay.
November if it's necessary.
Okay.
I think what you've given me is sufficient. I think we already noticed it for the third Wednesday. This
Okay.
is just kind of a, do we need to change that or not? And if we don't, we're good moving forward.
Okay, I think we're done.
And Jeff, do you send a public notice to the media with those scheduled?
Yes.
Okay, because that needs to happen, because I find it frustrating when some things are not listed. Go ahead.
I am not in charge of what they list. I can only let them know when it is.
Well, then they might come and look at us and see what we're doing. So, okay.
Okay. And this schedule then, Katz knows the schedule, so they know when to set up and do their stuff too.
Yes.
All right, next, staff updates.
Lisa, do you want to go first or you want me to?
It's up to you. Do you want me to go
Lisa?
first?
All right, Lisa, you're up.
All right, so I only have a couple updates actually. So Fullerton Pike Phase 3, we actually do have an amendment to the original design contract. We've changed the design a little bit to go away from the second roundabout at Fullerton Pike and Rockport. One is due to cost. One is due basically because a lot of excavation. So that part of this project is also being paid out of the major bridge fund, a large portion of it. But I just wanted you guys to know that that's on the agenda for the commissioners next Wednesday. It's for an additional $156,600. Again, we're trying to pay for most of that project out of the major bridge fund.
Right.
The bridge at this point is a little over, I think, 520 feet is the last estimate that I heard, which is dictated by DNR. And so that's kind of the update on that project.
Lisa, I had a question. If you get rid of that roundabout, is that going to be a four-way stop, or is it going to be through on Fullerton?
It's going to be a traffic signal.
It's going to be a traffic signal there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it going to be is it going to be a demand signal so we don't back people up? Because the south leg of that won't have much traffic, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they'll do the timing on that and everything for what the traffic pattern is.
Okay.
Put a yellow, one of those flickering yellow arrows on there, which is probably going to be needed, because I'll tell you, I have one place that they put that in, and it's the best thing that they ever did. People who go through that intersection regularly said that's the best. This is Fee Lane and the bypass. They put a flashing yellow arrow, which is really good.
Yeah, I think a lot of the signals have gone to that just because it's just an extra caution for people to know that they can still turn, but to do it with caution. So,
Well, I'll tell you, I've had good comments about that one at Fee and the bypass. That was really bad.
well, I'd like to take credit for that, but that's a state one. So,
Well, I know it's not, well, you can have some credit because you probably made sure it happened.
nah. So the only other project really that I have an update for. So the Curry Pike the Curry Pike, Smith Pike Wood.
We lost you, Lisa.
She's frozen.
So she was talking about the Curry Pike roundabout.
Yeah, the Woodyard, Woodyard Curry's. Here she comes. Lisa, you froze. We don't know what you said.
She's still
Can
frozen.
you hear me now?
Yes, now we can.
Yes,
Okay, I'm not gonna move.
I think that helps.
Yeah, I know, right? So anyway, so with projects across the state because of the COVID and being able to LPAs to get projects done. So our original funding for that project is about $5.
You're moving.
500,000, I think.
Well, I've heard the story before. We had about,
Pardon?
We
Well,
lost
let me-
you again.
Hang on, let me disconnect this VPN because I think that's what's doing it. Give me
I
a
could
second.
probably give them the short story.
yeah, I could go ahead.
Come back and then give the long one later if that's helpful. Essentially, she got approximately over 800,000 more for that project
Right.
from NDOT. And that I think that they moved the letting date from February to March or April, I believe.
April, I believe she told us. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's the update that I know of for that project. I have a few updates that I want to.
Wait a minute, I just want to ask something. Jim or Jeff, do you know whether that they're going to be able to complete that during the the work session during the summertime?
It's our goal for it to be one construction season. We had a discussion possibly moving the letting date to May, just because we're having troubles getting the utility work plans at this point. So, but it is the goal to do it in one construction season. We've already done the tree clearing so that would not hold up the project.
Right. That's good. Okay. Well, it would be nice if it gets done in that one season. So.
Yeah, it's just
Thank you.
scary when things are dependent on utilities based on our history.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're not kidding. You're not
And the
kidding.
only other update I had was the Profile Parkway. We're kind of at a standpoint there. We're done with everything that we can do until the asphalt plant opens back up, and then they'll come back in and finish that in the spring. So,
Yeah. Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Jeff, you're up.
I have a few updates. One, I wanted to report to you guys that TASIS has asked for a tax abatement in the West Side TIF. It is purely a personal property, which is not captured as TIF revenue, but I thought you guys would want to be aware. They're going to put about $900,000 worth of new equipment in one of their buildings and
Wow.
have a new, they call it converting line there, which is, and I say it wrong every time, but a part of it is at least putting decals and things for like the warning stickers in your car or things like that. They
Right,
also
right.
do some work with foam and having that foam work in. That's the kind of process they're putting in. Again, it doesn't involve change any TIF revenue, so that's why it's not coming to you guys formally. But I think it's always important to let you guys know when something like that is occurring. It went through the county councils for its first of two meetings in January, and it was approved unanimously as it was with the Economic Development Commission.
Okay.
So if you want more information on that, I can forward the PowerPoint presentation they've given. But I think that's important for you guys to know. I've also heard some thoughts about maybe expanding the board from 5 to 7 members to get more. Apparently, the council had a lot of good applicants for their positions, and so they think there may be some more value that could be added if they added a couple more positions. So I thought I'd let you guys know at least that I'm hearing that, and if you have any feedback that you want to give.
Is this established by state statute or by local statute?
The state code, I believe, allows the commissioners to expand it's kind of 5 by default, but it can be expanded to 7 if the commissioner so chose. And
Does
so
the split change between commissioner appointees and council?
no, they would each get one more additional appointee.
Oh, okay.
So that is at least being discussed and thought about. So if you have any thoughts on that, I would tell
Yeah,
you to.
the only concern would be if it makes it easier or more difficult to get a quorum.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I-
otherwise, the more eyeballs and brains on something, the better.
Yeah.
Well, I express the concern that I have generally when boards are expanded with the quorum issues.
right.
Yep.
So
We've been pretty successful with it.
We've been, yes, very fortunate and very responsible members.
Yeah.
At least while I've been involved, but
Yeah, me too.
I think we did one meeting this year with only 3 of us.
Right.
yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, so we did really well. Okay, anything else, Jeff?
I want to give you a brief update. Lisa and I talked with Greg at Financial Solutions Group. I had looked at the settlement numbers from last year, and it totaled for the whole year about 1.6 million. And our expectation was that it would be closer to 2 for the West Side TIF. I think we don't have a updated cash flow because of that. Although I will say, I think we have discovered why it's short at least by 370,000, and that had to do with a check getting delayed in the mail and coming in after the settlement date, although it was mailed prior to the required date. So that is putting us really close to that number that we were expecting.
Okay.
But they have a few other questions. FSG has a few other questions that they want to get answered before I give you the official, hey, here's the cash balance that we should have right now. It's short somewhat due to a delayed
Okay.
tax check. I've reached out telephonically to Tom Weiniger to have our meeting to talk about the affordable housing projects that we've been talking about. Once I hear back from him and get some dates, we'll go ahead and set up a meeting, and I'll email all of you again. Probably only want 1 or 2 of the redevelopment commission members there. 1 to avoid a quorum, and 2 to have a working group again for the public and maybe Christie's sake. We are working with the Affordable Housing Commission and the county commissioners on reviewing that topic. And so we had decided to have kind of a smaller work group to kind of go through some of these goals.
Yep.
And so we're on our way on that. You should have received an email talking about what the current planning is for that area
Right.
today. And it looks to me like there is mixed housing types and densities in that area that could be utilized if we went that direction. So that was one of the big questions from that joint meeting we had in December. So I think we can answer that with, it's possible under the current zoning. Now how that will kind of delve down into the locations of where we think things should go, I don't know, but that is at least possible.
Jeff, I was looking at what you sent us, and I wondered if any of those section 13 or 15 would allow condos or some kind of condominiums, because Lisa and I both asked about condominiums as being maybe could be cost effective, not necessarily.
Well, I guess to me, when you say condominium, that is just an ownership structure. And so there are some
family.
there are some single family condominiums, right?
Yeah, I
that-
live in one.
homes. Yeah, and so then there are, I think with the traditional, townhouse multifamily, I think that looks like to me it would fall into the section 15. And if you did it a lower density kind of condo, which to me is different, maybe if to any of the zones, it's an ownership style. I think the traditional condo where you have a building and everybody owns essentially an apartment in that building, I think that could be utilized in that section 15, but not in 13 and 14, which requires a single family residence. And so I think
Right.
the difference between those two is a lot.
Well, if you have two
Those
attached
designations,
houses. Well, go ahead.
those designations are building types.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen a lot of two units, two attached units. And they're in condominium form, and I don't know why that wouldn't be a positive in terms of cost. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, that'd be
Lisa would know
that'd be a
that.
duplex form.
Well, I'm living in one that Mr. Winninger built, so if we get a chance to talk to him, he
Right.
can tell us the economic impacts of that kind of stuff.
That would be helpful.
I have something to add to this. A couple of weeks ago, or a week ago, or maybe last week sometime, maybe Monday, I don't remember exactly. On the Inside Indiana Business thing that Gary
Right.
Gary Dick puts out, there is an article about Merchants Capital that created a tax credit syndicate platform for affordable housing. And they have funded $22 million worth of affordable housing projects in Indianapolis, Gary, and South Bend for 1,100 units
Wow.
through using this tax credit. And it might be worth contacting
Probably
Julie.
came through the chamber, didn't it?
I don't know how this all works, but I think it would be worth our getting in touch with Julie Sharp,
Uh-huh.
who is the Senior Vice President of Tax Credit Equity Syndications
Yeah, I remember reading some of
at
that.
Merchants Capital, to find out what they do and how they do it and whether it might be something, because these are, they supported 7 multifamily housing projects in the state.
Wow.
I would be happy to make that contact because I was planning on contacting her for unrelated to this commission.
Okay, but you know how to get a hold of her?
Well, I think I can find out. I have a
Yeah.
contact at Merchants Capital, so.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would. She's
I
the
don't,
one who's,
either was through the chamber, or I don't think it was BEDC, but I think it was either through the chamber or one of the other organizations that was doing that information. Or
Yeah.
then, no, I think I got it on my email.
yeah, this is one of those where we might get several agencies working together here to make
Right.
this come about.
Lisa, that would be great if you wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, that might be worthwhile. You might have worthwhile having that information anyway. So to use otherwise for all of us.
Did you want me to send this email to you, Lisa?
No, I have this. I got it. I have the story as well.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, though.
All right. Anything else, Jeff?
Oh, I have.
Okay, our next item is claims. And let me see, where have we got that?
I do have a note about the claims. The affidavit still has Efrat's name on it.
Yes, I will sign that one as either the president or as the vice president. Or do you want to send a new one to me, Jeff?
I'll work with Suzanne and we'll get you a new one.
Yeah, because Lisa has to sign it too, I think.
I am curious whether this is something that Efrat had signed last year and we are just ratifying today, but we will
Okay,
work with Suzanne on that.
right. So it's $1,034,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
$1,034,662.10, I think.
Yeah, that sounds
That's
right.
what I wrote down anyway.
Yeah.
Let me get my
Or, no, that was not right.
copy up.
That's wrong because that's Kreider's request, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what the affidavit would have been on.
Yeah, the total claim, including the 3 from Old National, whatever it's called, should be, including Kreider, should be $1,168,480.10.
Right. Now, do we know which bonds these wealth management sums are for? These are
I can
interest
get,
payments, right?
yeah, these are all bond payments. The 54 may be the trustee fee.
Yeah, it'd be
I,
nice to know what they are.
Yeah, I think you ought to give us some more information next time. Or
I-
put it in the minutes, what they're for.
I will.
As well as the Kreider and Kreider is the Profile Parkway, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and you think the number 2 item, Old National, is a trustee fee?
Yes.
Yeah, the 5,400.
But it'd be a trustee fee for something. For what?
They hold the bond accounts, and so they charge a fee to do the transactional work for each of the bonds.
Okay, so this fee covers all the bonds they hold?
That is my understanding. I will get all the backup information from the auditor's office who handles the bond payment and the trustee fee, and I will get that emailed to each of you.
Okay, and then we assume that items 3 and 4 are interest payments on bonds. Is there any principal retired with those? These look like just interest payments.
Yeah, they do.
I think that I believe they are pure interest, but again, I will get that information from the auditor's office, and let's see if I can get it right now.
Because I don't want to approve these without unless we do it provisionally.
No, I don't like approving them with a little more, without having a little more information, Richard. I thank you.
But we could approve the Kreider and Kreider.
Yeah, we know what that is. Well, I think the other ones have to be paid, so we have dates, we have deadlines to pay these things.
Yeah, that makes sense on the bonds and the banks.
Right.
We just need to make sure that we,
And we usually aren't trying to pay them early, so
yeah. We'll give Jeff a moment here. Let me go back to the agenda.
Richard, can I make a suggestion on something else too? There is no item on the agenda to approve the minutes.
You are
That's
correct.
right. And also we should have a public input, comments from public on it. I noticed.
Yes, that's not there either. So let me, since I didn't make the agenda. While Jeff is looking that up, let's go back and do the minutes of the December meeting, which were actually sent to us by email on yesterday. And I did read through them. I believe Iris read through them and made a comment about at least a spelling correction. Was that correct?
Well, minor spelling, Jim doesn't indicate it. There's an A missing in that word. The other thing is beam longness, and neff is, I think, beam longness. But Lisa Bridge can tell you that for sure, what the spelling is. And I'd like to make sure it's correct, though.
I think isn't it bean, longest, and neff?
Yeah, beam, I think it's with an M though, not an N. I don't know. But it's longness, Longnes.
Yes.
I had to learn that. I didn't realize that when I first met up with those people.
It is beam as in a bridge beam.
Yeah.
Right. So it should be BEAM space LONGNEST space and space neff NEFF.
Longest is LONGEST.
Oh, there's no N in there?
No.
Okay,
Oh.
beam, longest, and neff. I believe it was correct in the
Original.
original that we actually approved. It's just been copied wrong here.
I also don't think that's how Tim Weiniger spells his last name.
No, I think it's without an E. It's WININGER.
Yeah.
I didn't see it until after I got finished.
It's Tom. We're talking about Tom.
Tom,
Tim.
Tim,
Tim is
Tom.
the,
Tom, senior.
Tim is the senior. It should be Tom, right?
Right, we're talking, yeah, Tom's
Yes.
the guy who's doing stuff out in Ellettsville. He's opened up
Right. Right. I saw that in something else.
Okay, so this, we would correct his last name to Wineger.
No, I
No.
think it's Winenger. Vinegar.
Wini,
Nger.
okay,
Weininger.
it's
Weining.
Wininger,
Weining.
Weininger. Okay. Any other corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, and
I move approval of the minutes for December as corrected.
Second.
we have a second, we have a motion and a second. While Jeff is working on his problem, I will call the roll. I approve the motion. Jim,
I approve, yes.
Christie,
Actually going to abstain since I was not present in December, and since y'all have a quorum, I will abstain from voting.
thank you.
Okay.
Lisa,
Yes.
Iris,
Yes.
okay, so we have polled everybody by vote, and that is done. All right, let's get back to Jeff. Did you have anything else on those claims yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Do we have any staff comment from Lisa Ridge?
Nope, I pretty well reported everything I had to report.
Okay,
Thanks, Lisa.
yeah. Do we have any commissioners comment?
Well, I just want to point out, we have a new rep here from Richmond, from RBB.
That's a good thing.
I think this is Mr. Tucker, correct?
We have Mike Kornman here
Yeah, we have Mike, and we have Clark here from the BEDC.
and Clark from the BEDC.
But I assume this is Mr. Tucker sitting in for Dana. Okay, well, good, welcome.
Yes. Mike, did you want to say anything?
Mike Corman?
He's,
Yeah, sorry about that. No, I do have one thing I want to bring to the attention. I had asked about maybe some modifications to our fire station on Curry Pike, and I want to request that this be tabled for any further discussion. We were notified yesterday the Bloomington City Fire Department intends to provide fire protection to that area by the end of the year with their annexation of Section 1 that's in Richland Township. And so we need to reevaluate our status with our assessed valuations of what we're actually going to be covering out there. So the uncertainty of the fire station served by Ellettsville, Richland Township is in question right now. So we need to reevaluate. So I think we just need to hold off anything for the repairs to the station on Curry Pike for now.
Thanks,
Okay.
Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Plus, it's good to hear the city's seems that for to actually be talking to somebody.
Yeah.
We have had a great relationship with the city fire department dating back to the previous fire chiefs on the impending annexations and keeping up on everything. So we've got a good relationship with the city of
Great.
Bloomington on that.
That is great to hear.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I agree with Jeff on that.
Okay. Is there, Clark, did you want to say anything?
Jeff pretty much covered it on the TOSIS thing. We're super excited from a BEDC perspective and community perspective
yeah.
to be supporting TOSIS and all that they do for our community. Great corporate citizen. The other thing that I'd add maybe that is that they're great paying jobs. These are going to be skilled positions there. It does give them a competitive advantage over some of their other competitors out there to be able to supply their market with better product and embeds them deeper within their OEM community. So super excited about them. Melanie has, and Miss Walker has been a great leader within our community. And
I know.
we're just
She's
super glad
great.
to help them in so many ways.
Good. Thank you.
You bet.
I don't know the gentleman who was on as the iPhone. I don't have a name, but
That's-
apparently, Jim, you know who that is.
Well, it's, I believe, Brad Tucker. He's from the RBB School Board.
Okay,
And I spoke to him when Dana first had his hip replacement, that he was going to be filling in.
okay,
Then, of course, Dana made a couple of meetings, and I assume he couldn't be here today.
okay.
But it doesn't seem to have sound. But
All right. So we want to make sure that Brad Tucker gets entered on the list of attendees for the meeting. Okay. Is there anyone else who wants to say anything about our?
I want to say one thing. I said this at the commissioners meeting, and I'll say it again at this meeting. I want to give the biggest kudos I can think of to Lisa Ridge for this 800 and whatever $1,000 it was. It's an example of, and it's her and her staff.
That's right.
And Paul, for being able to be, well, one, being aware and reaching out when there may be some extra money, having a good enough relationship with NDOT based on relationships that she and Bill Williams before her had with them, that they will reach out to us, they will trust us, that we can sort of quickly handle the money and put it to good use. So kudos to Lisa. That's just a great asset for this county. So way to go, Lisa. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Another part is having some plans in place and being ready to go. I learned
Right,
that.
this thing is basically shovel ready, as they say.
Right, right. Well, I learned it from Mayor Allison when she was mayor and I was on that city council, that if you do your planning well in advance and know where you need to spend the money and so on, like she had it all ready to go. She could say, please hold out her hand and say, please give me that money.
Yep. Yep.
Well, and you know,
you have
again,
a great
they know
list.
she'll put it to good use. And so
Yes.
we get the money and we get it sooner. We probably
That's
get
right.
this project done
Right.
soon.
And Lisa, I think a big part has you, Bill, have had a great relationship with the state, so they know that what you're going to do and produce is going to be a positive for both the state and us. So thank you also from my end.
Yep.
And Commissioner.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff, you got any more information for us?
I went back and looked at the annual report that we looked at in July, August. The $5,400 is the bond payment for the 2013 bond. The
Okay.
$63,211.75 is the bond payment for the 2015 bond. And
Okay.
the $65,206.25 is for the 2020 bond.
Great. Thank you very much.
I think
In light of that information, I move approval of the claims.
Second. And I think Jeff, make sure that when we do these claims, that there is more information with them. It really makes it more helpful to know where we're spending money.
And I apologize for not having that. I typically do, and that was my fault.
Okay. So we
Okay.
have a motion and a second for approval of the claims in the amount of $1,168,480.10 for a total of 4 items. Kreider and Kreider for Profile Parkway, and then 3 bond payments to Old National Wealth Management. Jeff, would you call the roll?
Richard Martin,
Yes.
Lisa Abbott,
Yes.
Jim Shelton,
Yes.
Iris Kiesling,
Yes.
Christy Langley.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 5-0.
Okay. That takes care of claims. We've done our minutes. Lisa had no staff comments anymore. Jeff, do you have any more staff comments?
I do not.
Okay. Do any of the commissioners have comments that we haven't heard so far?
No, I think I'm okay. Thank you, Richard, and thank you for serving as president.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And
Richard,
yes.
this is Brad Tucker. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that earlier. I'm the representative from Richland B. Blossom School Corporation this year.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So,
Oh, for the
yeah,
whole
I've-
year,
I've-
okay.
Yeah, I've seen you. I've seen most of you before in meetings, but I didn't know who was who. So I'm starting to figure out the who the
Now you
players
know.
are. Yeah, now I
Yeah, you-
know. Yeah.
You won't get pictures of me, however. I am
I'm
a
trying to
voice.
figure out, yeah, who that anonymous picture is. I think I can recognize your voice if I see you somewhere.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Well, we
Um,
appreciate you coming with
All
us,
right. Thank you.
joining us.
All right, and Lisa Abbott, you're going to contact Julie at the Capital Wealth Management to see if we might be interested to see if we can figure out a way to put together a project that has different pieces to it that would be useful for us.
That-
I
Definitely.
will call her.
Okay,
Great, thank you.
all right. Anybody else have any more comments or business to conduct? If not, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So
I
moved.
move second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment, and I think we don't need to call the roll on that, do we?
No, our next meeting is, what's the date of the next meeting? February what?
Should be the third Wednesday in February.
That would be,
February 17th.
Thank you.
Okay,
All
I
right.
usually, usually put it with my minutes. That's why, because I sometimes forget to put it on my calendar.
all right.
Thank you,
Okay.
Jeff. Thank
See
you,
y'all,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.